Welcome everyone to Iconic TV Live. I'm your host, Dr. Connie Scavella, and we're going to talk about something that you really need to prepare for the upcoming year. You see, the market is changing a lot faster than it has been over the last 1, 2, and even 3 years. And what does that mean for you and for your business? It means that you need to make the same changes and the same adjustments and pivots as well. Because if you don't, what happens is that you're just going to be left behind. Now, so what's changing, right? We already have a red ocean. We already have a lot of people online. We have so many people in all these different niches. It's a little hard to stand out. And when everybody is doing the same thing, that is the sign to pivot, right? And so right now we're going to talk about one of those ways, and that is talking about live events. So I am live. You're here live, right? Say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. Put it in the comments right down below. Where are you right now? And where are you as far as the year goes? There's 20 days left in the year. That's it. And do you know that's still time to turn around to everything? So what happened with the way things were going is that everything just became saturated. Too many people are doing the same thing. And so I want to show you what you could do to stand out and to be different from everybody else so you can still continue to grow and scale your business without competing with everybody else. And so that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about the power of live events. Not just virtual events. I'm talking live in-person events. Do you remember how many we used to have way before the pandemic? And we would go to all kinds of workshops. We'd fly to do all these things, and then it all disappeared. Speaking, all of that sort of disappeared. Everybody had to go online. And you know what? It brought in everybody, and it brought in people that weren't even doing that. And everybody suddenly is doing the same thing. We're right back at square one. So what I want to show you today is that you actually need to play a new game, a different game. And the different game that I want you to start incorporating into your business is to do live in-person events. And some of you have been doing them, but I really want to let you know that there's a format and a formula that you can use to do these and to really turn your business around. So here's the question I have for you today. Are you looking to revive your business and your brand, or are you looking to revise it, right? Do you just need to kind of wake it up and shake it up a little bit, or do you need to flip it all the way around, do something different? Have you noticed that the market you're in maybe is not the market you should be in? Did you maybe pick wrong? Like you thought this was going to be a great market for you, but it turns out it's not the right audience. It's not the right people. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. How do you find a way to do live events? But I'm going to talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that people make with live events. Okay. And we want to be able to get around that. So, we are going to talk about not only how do you do them, but how do you avoid making the mistakes that everybody else does? All right. And so let's go ahead and okay, so let's look at the agenda for today. This is what we're talking about today. There are some reasons why you should do this. Talked a little bit about that. Who's the ideal candidate for this? What are the 5 biggest mistakes? And what's the action plan? What do you have to do right now to turn your business around? Okay, so why should you get started? Why should we even do this? Are you even doing this? So let's do this first. So first of all, I'm going to start with who am I? Why am I qualified to do this? So again, if you're watching for the first time, I want you to go click up here somewhere. There's a link. You can click and be part of the group. I've got some giveaways and things that you can get. So go click on that. Let me know who you are so I can see your comments and we can make this interactive. And if you've been here before, you know what to do. Type down below, type the word pro, type the word pro down below. Okay. So I know that you've been here before, and I have a question for you. Again, I've been doing this for several years here in the Iconic Entrepreneur. And if you've just met me, I'm Dr. Connie Scavella. And what I am kind of known for is being a business growth strategist and being able to turn businesses around on a dime. I'm also a 3-time #1 best-selling author and international speaker, and really focused on business strategy. What are the strategies and principles that you can use right now, not hacks and tactics, but things that actually work, right? That you can start right now to turn your business around. So where are you? Okay, are you doing live in-person events right now? Put your answer down below. Is it a yes? Are you doing them? Is it a no? Okay. Or are you in maybe land? Like, maybe I should do these. Okay. Yes, no, or maybe. Maybe you're thinking about it. Maybe you want to learn how to do it. Or maybe it's a clear no, there's no way I could do that. Okay. So we want to be able to help you figure out what to do, how to do it, where to do it, when to do it. And here's why now, because this is the opportunity, right? This is the time where we can do it. We can be out. We can start making yourselves an iconic legend in your own space, right? And you can now leverage. You can use the power of leverage, and you can leverage other people. You can leverage other partnerships, and you can leverage other people's experiences. Tools, resources. This is the time to do it. Also, this is your competitive dynamic that you can take advantage of. What is your audience and your competitors doing? And how can you stand out from them? How can you see and use what they're doing, but how can you make it more real and personable? Because there's nothing better than being face to face. Have you noticed that you're so much more powerful when you're face to face with somebody than just over the airways, right? And also, you can leverage that fact because when you get people in person, that human connection, right? H to H, that's what makes people interested. Your closing ratio is so much higher when you work with people in person, if you do it right, okay? And of course, we also want to look at the timing and the scalability. This is so much more scalable now than it was in the past, and the timing is right for right now. People are burnt out, right? Aren't you a little burnt out? Give me a thumbs up, right? If you're like, oh, please, not another Zoom or a webinar. Maybe you're tired of, living in pajama bottoms and you're only like good from the neck up. Okay. So you want to actually connect with people. We've been doing these for a while. And that's the #1 thing that people are saying. They're loving the connection. Wow, we actually get to see people, right? And talk to people, make connections that wouldn't happen online. So those are the reasons why you want to consider this, okay? Now, if you haven't been doing this, I want to help you out. I want to help you figure out a strategy and a system that you can use. That's super easy, okay? So all you need to do is type #call, and you can let me know, what is your plan right now? Do you have them? Do you not have any live events? Would you like to turn your online events, which are having dwindling attendance, into actual live events? Now, when you do it, of course, you do need a strategy and a plan. You want to make sure that you've really refined your offer as well. So a lot of people are doing it, but they're doing it wrong. Okay. So why should you do it? Because here's the reason: you can actually become an iconic legend. It's hard to stand out when you're just online, but when people see you and you build a raving audience of fans, that's what really works. Okay. And once you establish that iconic status, you can't really have anyone take it away. Okay. You can look at some of the icons in sports. They don't lose that iconic status, right? Michael Jordan hasn't played in a while. He's still known as a legend, right? Even Tom Brady has left, the sport after playing until he's 45 years old, but he's an icon. He's a legend, right? These are the GOATs. And why? You get that human connection. People get to see you, hear from you, and they can trust you when they get to know you, right? So that's why you want to do this. And once you establish that legendary status, it doesn't go away, okay? But it's not easy to do. So I want to know from you, what would you rather do? Would you rather connect with your audience virtually or in person? Which is it for you? Put it in the comments. I would love to see. And let me know where you're watching. Also, are you watching on YouTube or in our Iconic Entrepreneur group? Are you on Facebook or LinkedIn? Let me know where you're watching and tell me what is your favorite. Would you rather do it virtually? You don't have to leave. Again, you can wear your pajama bottoms if you want to, or would you rather do it in person? Okay. And so here's the thing, they're not the same. Okay. So maybe it took you a while to learn how to go live and be virtual and close online and do all of that, but you can still learn how to do it in person. It's different than it was before. Okay. And before, what we had was mostly pitch fests. Do you remember that? You go somewhere in person and it's just boom, 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 boom. They're just throwing offers at you. And that doesn't work anymore. Okay. That is so old school. So if you're trying to do it just like it was done before a few years ago, pre-pandemic, don't think about it. It will be, you'll fall flat on your face. Okay. So let's talk about what you can do. First of all, go out there, get out there and network and figure out what are people doing. If you would like to see exactly what it looks like, how should you set it up? How should you do it? Come to one of mine. Okay, so I do these for business owners, nothing to buy, nothing to sell, all right? Totally different than the old way. So you can go to theiconicworkshop.com, come in and watch me do an event, see how it is done, and you'll learn a lot because it is not the old way and it is not just virtual in person, okay? If you try that, I've been talking to other people who are doing live events and I'm seeing like, what are you doing and how come it's not working? And there's a big difference, okay? So you have to know the old way is not going to work for the new way, but you need to do it. Why? Not everybody has the skill and the talent and the resources and the ability to leverage to be able to do it this new way, okay? So let me know how many of you want to keep doing it virtually, how many of you want to do it live, okay? Now, if you can't put the comment in, just say V for virtual or P for in person, let me know. And I know sometimes the connection here is a little rough if you need a replay, okay? If for some reason this connection is not great today and you need a replay, please type replay down below, okay? And my team, Angie and Della and Sandy are here and they will get you the replay, okay? So if you need a replay, if you're having any connection problems, just type replay or any sound problems or anything, let me know, okay? So what are the 5 biggest mistakes? Here's the 5, okay? And then I'll break it down for you. Lack of planning, insufficient promotion, neglecting audience engagement, lack of flexibility, and inadequate follow-up, okay? So real quick, let's go over these because these are biggies. You can make other ones, but these are the ones that if you make these mistakes, the whole thing will not work, okay? So lack of planning. This includes like the venue. Sometimes people are thinking about that. They're looking at the venue based on price versus, oh, that's too much, I'll go for the cheaper one, okay? You want to have the right venue to attract the type of audience you are working with. We always talk about high ticket and how important high ticket is. So you can't be having a high ticket offer and a low ticket venue. And people need to know what is the agenda, what's going to happen, what's the objective, okay? And prepare all the necessary materials. Give people a quality presentation of what they're going to get and make sure your materials match your offer and sort of the quality and how much effort you're putting into it, right? Okay, so oftentimes people kind of lack any kind of direction and you don't meet the expectations of the audience, right? Have you ever gotten all dressed up to go out somewhere and then it's like, oh, this is kind of a creepy place, right? Or you get there and then you don't match the audience, right? It's like, who did you invite? Like, I thought this was really a high level, powerful event. And then there's a whole bunch of people that are so not at that level. So you have to really, really put your planning hat on in the beginning to make sure that you are matching your messaging to your brand and to your audience. Very, very important. Live events are not the time to cheap it out. Okay. Is this making sense to you guys? Tell me if this makes sense, because you've probably been to some of these kind of events. And you're like, oh, that wasn't good. And you're like, oh, I wasted my time, especially if you've flown there. Okay. I've been to a lot of them. Probably have been to this year, maybe about 15 or 20 live events. And I would say 3 or 4 of them were amazing. One totally stood out in my head. All the rest were, that was okay. I can't believe I spent money on that or something, right? Does that make sense? Okay, so give me some love if you're loving this topic. Let me know, okay? Because it's not being talked about. You have to have something different going forward. You cannot do the same thing going into the next year, and you need a strategic way to do this, okay? So number 1 was a lack of planning. If you want all 5, just type hashtag replay. We'll get you all the resources and the replay so that you can watch it again. So next one, insufficient promotion. What's the point if you get all the planning and everything right and you're underestimating the importance of the marketing and you're not getting enough people there, okay? Or you plan it wrong and you don't have enough room for the people that are there. I've been at places where they're like, oh, we don't have anything. And people were literally sitting on the floor in suits and dresses because they just didn't plan right and they didn't have enough room or enough chairs. It was awful. Okay. So make sure that your promotion matches your venue too. All right. And that means, are you using enough of the different channels or social media? Are you using email marketing? Are you working with partnerships and sponsors and word of mouth and everything? You have to be everywhere when you're doing one of these. Okay. You can't just do a little bit or the venue that you're used to. You need to plaster it everywhere. Okay. Online and offline. And I will tell you again, especially if you are doing a live event, we find that the more you have live human connection with people before the event, the more they show up and the more they buy. If you're not doing any human connection, you're doing everything automated or virtual and email and text, but you never actually talk to them before a live event, that's what's going to happen to your attendance and to your sales, okay? If you're having sales at the event. So make sure that you understand how to put this on, not just what to avoid, but how to do it. If you want our guide as far as how do we do these and how do we make them profitable and how do you plan and predict exactly how many people, how to anticipate how much you're going to get, all of that, have a calculators. We can help you out with that and show you and give you our resources, how it works. Just type hashtag live, because again, the whole point of having your business is not to be like everybody else. You have to stand out. You have to be a leader. You have to be at the forefront, and lives are going to be able to help you do that. All right. So again, this is the thing. You have to pay attention to the warning signs. If you don't know what they are, just do hashtag replay and get that, okay? So the third thing is that if you're neglecting audience engagement in your live, have you ever been to a live event and it just feel talked at? And you're like, okay, I'm just supposed to sit here, and you're trying to stay awake. All right. So if the audience doesn't feel connected to you or it's not interesting, your impact goes down significantly. So it's very important to incorporate their reactions, get them engaged with sessions and examples or surveys, have different engagement with others, make sure you have networking opportunities, do live polls, get people interested and invested throughout the whole event. Don't just be a figurehead up on stage or something. Get people moving. And I'm not saying that you need to do a rah-rah session, a Tony Robbins session where it's like, and you just get them hyped to buy, okay? And you also don't need to do a hug fest where everybody has to hug each other and massage everyone's shoulders. That's so old, okay? You need to get them engaged and connect, right? So the more people connect, the more they like what they are doing and the people that they are around. Because when you go to an event and you make some really good connections, don't you feel that event is so much better than one where you meet nobody? You're just like, oh, that was okay. Okay. So people are craving human connection right now. And if you can provide that in your events, it's lights out. Okay. So make sure you are getting them engaged. Now, where should we go to next? You guys know what the next one is? After you get audience engagement, the next thing you have to understand, the big thing that people are doing is they're lacking flexibility. People are too rigid oftentimes in their event plans, and no event ever goes perfectly. So if the unexpected happens, can you be nimble? Can you flip things? If the venue isn't ready, if someone doesn't show up, if your graphics, your slides, your presentation doesn't work, if there's a power outage, whatever it is, can you plan? If a fire, this has happened before where a fire alarm or smoke alarm goes on and everybody has to leave the building. You must be prepared for those things and you have to be able to adapt, right? So, but if you don't, if you make it like, oh, this thing didn't happen, or a lot of people keep talking about it. Well, I can't believe this happened. It's not my fault, or these people didn't show up, or the food didn't arrive, or they didn't arrange the room like I wanted. These are all things that a lot of people, when they throw an event, they act like they're the victim of everything. It doesn't work that way. You're throwing the event. You have to be flexible. You have to make it work. And so whatever happens, you have to act as if that is planned, okay? Now, it doesn't happen a lot, but I promise you, you do a lot of live events and things are going to happen. The more people directly involved in the preparation and planning of your event is directly proportional to the likelihood of its failure at something. So you want to make sure you're surrounded by people who can manage all of this and who have a backup plan. Make sure you've always got your plan B, like if something goes wrong. And you guys have seen it, right? So it's not that something goes wrong, it's how do you handle it, okay? So if you want to, again, see how this works, I want to invite you to our workshop, the Iconic Workshop. It is live in person. So if you are here where we are, let us know. If you just want to watch, but you're not here locally where we are here in San Diego, let me know that too, okay? And just say, hey, I want to see what a workshop looks like. If you're in town and you want to fly in and come to one of our workshops and see how we do this for business owners, I would love to have you come, okay? Because this has to be the new thing for the new year. And this is the time to learn how to prepare it, how to put it together. And in the beginning, it might be scary, it might be a little rough, you might have fewer people, and then you just want to test a few things. But once you get it going, it's very much like clockwork. Okay. Remember how people used to do evergreen events and they take a live webinar and then they do it and do it and do it over and over and over. And then they just show the replay. Okay. So this is sort of like that. In the beginning, you have to kind of try it out, different venues, different people, track everything you do. It's very important. We track everything. We have all these cool spreadsheets and things that we can track it on. So we know the numbers, we know exactly who's going to show up and how much and how to prepare. We know the costs and we know where to get all the materials and the resources to do it, how to partner with people. So there's a lot of logistics. But once you get that down and once you build that framework, it's so easy and it's just on autopilot, right? Just go, go, go. And it makes it really fun. I got to tell you. So I used to speak everywhere, okay? And that was my thing. And I'd go around and speak on my topics for other companies and did that all over the place, sometimes multiple talks a day. And it was awesome. But then when nobody was allowed to be out, it shifted. Everybody went online. But I got to tell you, I am loving the in-person stuff and just being able to really talk to people, make your presentation tailored to the audience. It's so much fun. So how many of you are thinking, okay, maybe I'll do this? Give me a yes. Come on. Tell me, give me a love, give me a yes, something to let me know if, yeah, I'm open to that. Just type #live, okay? #live if you are like, you know what, maybe I should start putting some live in-person events into my program. I'm not talking just retreats, like I'll do a retreat here every once in a while. People say, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about taking what you do online and take it out into in-person events so that you can become an iconic legend in your local area. It's so awesome. Okay. And it will do dramatic things for your business. So who's game? Tell me who's game. Are you game? Give me a thumbs up. Tell me yes, yes, yes. Or no way. I'm too afraid. I don't want to get up there. I'll stick to a podcast. I want to do something where nobody can see me. What is it for you? Okay. So here's something I want to share with you. I know sometimes it feels like, oh, I can't do it. I shouldn't do it. It's too hard. This is maybe you guys have heard of this, like the man in the arena. I referred earlier um, to Tom Brady, right? An absolute GOAT, a legend in football, right? And he didn't have it easy. He was 199th draft pick, but he ended up just going for it and going for it and going for it and just kept going. He was in it for the duration. They made a whole documentary series. You guys should look it up on YouTube. I just want to talk about this, the man in the arena. Have you guys heard this saying before? I'm just going to read it real quick. You can get the replay and watch it. So, and this is by Teddy Roosevelt, okay? So it says, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man or woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best known in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly. So that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat." And that's really the challenge, right? Isn't that awesome? Okay. So how do you put yourself in the arena? How do you go out there? And it's just like that. Yes, you're going to stumble and fall. There might be some defeat, but you have to be the person in the arena. And if you're not in the arena and you're not always trying to be the one there, center stage, then eventually nobody is going to give you the applause. So how are you going to use this for 2024? I want you to really think about this. How can you take what we're talking about? How can you use this? Be the man in the arena, the woman in the arena, and do it now, right? Think of this. There's always a new fad and a new wave. Everyone's like, oh, it's TikTok, it's this, it's that. This is the new wave. I'm just telling you right now that the tides have turned. And you can go back out there right now and you can lead this new charge. So the question is, are you going to dare greatly and do this? Let me know if you want my help. And if you need some tips or ideas, or you're wondering how it works, again, you can come here and you can join my workshop, theiconicworkshop.com. Okay. See every detail on how it's done and get our whole process and see if you have the kind of business, or you have the kind of personality, or you have the kind of offer that is going to work in one of these. Or should you even make an offer? How can you incorporate this into your business? Because I promise you, if you're thinking, well, maybe I should go on TikTok now, or I should go on this now, that's all done, right? It's too late. So where can you go now to turn your business around? You can get in the arena. So I want to thank you for being here. Be here next Tuesday. You guys are not going to believe what we have planned for the last part of the year. Next Tuesday is a special, special thing. If you're wondering, how do I hit my number? How do I take my business from 6 figures to 7 figures? How do I scale up my profits? I'm going to show you a roadmap, exactly these steps. All you have to do, step by step, 3 steps. And I'm going to give you the exact layout for you to hit your goals, even if you've never hit your goals before, exactly how to do that. Next Tuesday, 5 p.m., Iconic TV. We will see you there.